Look up Krayshawn. She had a song. What was it in the early 2000s or something? Some female rapper, Krayshawn. She still owes $800,000 to. She was just bitching about it on Twitter. About how she
heard of that on Twitter after that one song that we don't even remember.
Yeah.
But she follow everybody. You don't even follow me.
No, I don't follow her. I just saw the topics, man.
Yeah, here's her.
My bad. I thought you followed Krayshawn. I'm like, damn, you must have really liked that song.
She's a character.
All right, I think that's enough.
Anyway.
I think that's a healthy amount of banner.
Welcome to Columbus DJ Podcast, episode 17.
18.
God damn. Episode 18. We got DJ Legend and J Money in the building. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Well, thanks for having me.
How you guys doing?
Hanging in there, man. Just trying to get back to work.
Yeah.
Except, everybody keeps getting like COVID, like our governor. He went out at 10:05. He broke his own rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't wish that on anybody, especially him. But man, that is ironic.
It is.
He has no symptoms. That's the only reason I made a joke. But
it's like
it's not.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, no, we can joke. I mean, obviously he's not in any. But it's like Fauci. If he got, COVID, all of a sudden it'd be like, whoa. Yeah, see, I don't even remember the name.
Yo, I'm not even laughing at Fauci. I'm just laughing at like, what if Mike DeWine watched our podcast for whatever reason? And he was like, these DJs are talking shit.
Where do they work? I'm gonna shut their bar down.
Yeah,
sorry, exactly. Petey. Sorry, Dolly.
He's moving up the curfew to 7, so now we'll never work.
We wish Mike DeWine a speedy recovery.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Honesty. I would rather a governor who's actually doing shit rather than, someone like the dude in Georgia who took 3 months to figure out that, you can pass it without symptoms. So shout out to Mike DeWine. Hope he gets better soon. Interesting way to start the podcast, but I kind of like it.
Let's just get all the negativity out there out of the way. So we're sending our thoughts and prayers to the Beirut.
Absolutely.
The city of Beirut. That was horrible, devastating.
Man,
so go ahead.
I woke up and I saw on Twitter it was like explosion in Beirut, and I was like, I did the little thing where you like make sure it's not a terrorist attack, like you do like that amount of research. I'm like, okay, cool. And I feel like the tweet that I saw originally did not do it justice. That explosion was just massive.
I only laughed because they downplayed it at first.
Oh my god!
And then you look at it
out of a movie.
Yeah. That was
crazy, man. There should
do you guys
that much of that. What is it? Ammonium nitrate? Like that much of it? Over 2,700 tons, just chilling. What is that?
I've had my
answer.
My quota of bad news for 2020. So I just kind of see like, is this what is it? And then whatever else I need to do to clear my mind, stay with the positive mindset. I'm
normally an optimist, but people are like, they're like looking at it like 2021 is going to be better. And I'm like, I hope. I mean, I hope for the best, plan for the worst, we all should. But at the same time, man, 2021, who knows, man. But I don't know. I feel a difference in attitude the latter part of this year already. Like people are starting to try to be more optimistic and stop bitching about stuff they can't control.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I was just I was just gonna say real quick. I don't want to get into politics, but I feel like no matter who wins, like that's gonna really affect the beginning of the year. Hopefully, like there's some good that comes, like maybe a vaccine and maybe Buckeyes are in the playoffs. That'd be nice.
There you go.
Something to look up for at least here.
Those are two pretty big things on the spectrum, bro.
Well, one's local, one's global, bro. I got all my hopes right now.
6 billion people be happy about this vaccine.
I hope the Saints win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, I just hope we stay in it long enough to get a World Series, man.
Who's your team?
Mets.
Okay.
Straight out of New York, yeah.
You got big dreams, don't you?
I know. That's what I said. We already have a losing. We're like 3
every
and
year I do this to you.
Could be a Reds fan.
we're like 4-7 now. I'm like, wow. So are we even going to get 500 out of 60 games?
Dude, the Reds are so bad, right? Every year, and they party so hard, like they're like champions.
I love Cincinnati for being Reds fans, man. They're kind of like the Browns of baseball, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they both in Ohio? Oh man.
Hey, Legend, I got a question for you.
What's that? Uh-oh.
It's an easy one. It's a softball for you.
All right.
How long you been doing this?
I have been doing what? Mets fan?
No.
Since I was
Nobody
probably. Hey. No. What? In the business?
Yeah, man.
This last March was what? 26 years?
Wow.
A long time, man.
1994.
I'm assuming Jay Money probably thinks you have a question for him as well.
No, I'm waiting on him to tell me.
Let's do intros.
Okay.
Let's do intros.
Yeah.
Let's just start with Jay.
I've
Jay's already talked.
I've been at this since '89.
Let's see. All right,
Mike,
so
89. I was born in '87.
I'm 88.
So you got me.
So wait, so Jay, when was your first knowing that this is what you want to do, and when did you what was your first I want to say party or gig? Like
I knew that I wanted to do this as a teenager. I was trading ice skating time out in California. Let me play some records, and I would get ice time instead of getting paid, and I was happy with that.
All right.
Got my first set of Tech 12s from my dad at 16, so this has been in my blood for a very long time. And I
started out in Cali, you said?
Yeah, I was born in New York, raised in Cali.
Nice.
Damn. Which coast is east? Which coast? Best coast?
It depends on what you want. You want fast paced? It's New York all day. It don't sleep. You want laid back, relaxed, kind of chill? It's Cali.
Okay, your attitude back then. Which coast was the best coast? Your life,
me down so I can.
Your lifestyle.
No. Let's ask this. All right, if we're talking about hip hop, which coast? Best coast?
East.
Legend, you say East as well, I assume.
It started there. I have to go there.
Cool. Well, hey, Jay, why don't you continue, man, with the story? We know how long you've been in this game. How'd you get started?
They're both Jay, Mike.
Oh, Legend. Legend and Money.
Yeah,
right,
Money.
So we'll start with Legend.
Money. You sure you don't want to go, Money?
I mean,
I got my start in nightclubs, then started filling in for Pete Dillon, doing mix shows. Nothing like a mix show for me doing it live in a nightclub. And then eventually I got tired of the nightclub and I went to radio.
107.5.
Yep, got tired of radio and went back to the nightclub. So I've had a nice variety of things, not just in terms of DJing, but in terms of marketing, promotions, management. There's not much I haven't done in this business. I've even been a bartender at one point.
How long were you doing the radio thing?
Oh, God. That started in college. So 92, I think. And it's just been off and on. Radio is a very fickle biatch. 1 minute they love you, the next minute they hate you.
I've seen that with a lot of friends lately. In the past 5 years, a lot of friends come and go. Well, not my friends, but you know what I mean. In the business, they come and go out of that.
Chad Chalmers says, how many Washington apples had to die for the DJ Legend?
I said nobody bring up my past.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about that, Jay. Because you're sober now, man. For how long now?
6 years, brother. 6 years.
Nice,
years, dude. Like I think I mean, not to go somewhere like that, because I want to get your introduction in, but like, yeah, man, tell us about your journey. What helped you make the decision, and what advice do you have for people like who are like struggling with that?
To introduce myself, legend, of course, Jay. Friends know me, Jack, whatever my government name. Yeah, I put it out there publicly. I hope everybody knows that.
I was one of the few that knew.
Yeah, it's like a coming.
The coming out party.
Yeah. Well, There you go. So, no, it started when I was 17. A brother of mine, Jeff Foster, if he's watching, got to tag him because I moved to Columbus from a real tiny town, and I moved in with my father, and then he was, my mother's son. So he was like, "Hey, do you want to DJ?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." Of course, I watched it on, Yo MTV Raps. Big fan of that. Big fan. And so I would watch it, and then I went there, and it was 2 turntables and a huge amount of records right behind me. I said, "Okay, here we go." And ever since then, after that, I didn't want to stop having that connection and that feeling. So now I look at the turntables as I still rock them, and I still love to travel with them when I can. But, obviously the controller has come a long way. We'll get into that. But Mikey hit me up to something real cool. But no, it's just, I fell in love with it. I've been here 26 years now. Don't want to go anywhere. But, I mean, as these times are happening, it's tough. But at the same time, we're going to push through. But I just practice, and I still have that same attraction to turntables or just music, period. Because
the key word to that was you still practice.
Yeah. Well,
that's something some people just don't do.
And sometimes, like whenever I first started out, I was in it I loved the music and I loved the connection I was having, making people, bob their head or dance. Then, of course, substances and some dumb shit came along, and made you all a little happy, feel good. But you still have that love. It just kind of hides. Now I'm back to, well, for the last, 6 years at least, been all love. And that's why I can't discredit any artist from whatever. And because I just find new music that I love either through a friend or whatever. So,
And you would consider yourself an open format DJ, right? You play a little bit of everything.
I would. I've done, events such as, like your area, house music. I've done all hip hop nights, whatever. But yeah, open format is where I enjoy, because then you can do on the fly mashups, or you can just do whatever would make you happy, as opposed to just playing something and then everybody else happy. I like to be happy as well. And of course, like you play what you love.
Sure.
And that's, but to touch on the whole sober thing, yeah. So that came to a point where, and I want to preface it with this. Please don't think I'm that guy that I can't go to a place and oh, well, I'm sober, so you guys can't drink around me. I mean, hell, I'll buy you the first round. I don't care. I just know what was right for me to do, and what's, and when I had my mind made up, I went and did what I had to do. But that morning when I woke up and was on my way to where I needed to go, I knew that, immensely, it was nothing to me. So I got out. A week later, I was back in clubs. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just something that it doesn't bother me at all.
I think it's interesting that, like, when I remember the first time that you said that, yo, I'm switching sober. I'm like, damn, I didn't even realize that, like, you even drank that much. Because like when we were hanging out or whatever, it was never like it got out of hand. So like,
and I don't want to discredit the people that do suffer day to day or anything, because I get it. Everything's a struggle. It just, to me, it was mentally, I was done. So again, that's I could, I don't want to discredit anybody for what they're trying to do to better themselves.
For sure. Yo, J-Money, I want you to talk about some influences you have, and Legend kind of talked about his favorite part of being a DJ. I want you to talk about that as well.
The favorite part for me is just the evolution of it, from records to the CDs to the controllers now, and I got involved doing video stuff in 2006. So that was like a brand new car for me. Let me take it out, test drive it, have some fun with it. I still do video. It's one of the, I prefer to only do video. To me, it's more entertaining. And I can sit there and justify the cost to the bar owner going, I can keep more butts and seats and keep them there drinking. That's typically how I approach bar management, bar owners as a selling point.
Dude,
Actually,
watching.
let's stay there for a minute, because James, I mean, you haven't had to really like, well, you promote yourself for your out of town gigs, but for DJs who are trying to go in and get their first nightclub, their first bar gig, Jay, what kind of talking points should they be focusing on?
How they can help improve sales. That would be the key point right there. And even experienced DJs. How can you help improve sales? You get those numbers up, that paycheck goes up. And that's what I'd like to see more people get involved in. That's something I've been stressing for the past 2 decades.
Jay was a beast at that. Jay was a beast at that. Go and talk to a manager. He would say everything the manager wants to hear, get the gig. He wouldn't undercut nobody, but he would just talk business to business, you know?
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, look, I think the video DJing is amazing. I respect everybody that can do that properly. I attempted it once, and it was, first of all, for your computer to do it properly and for you to have it set up to where it's smooth, and it takes a lot of work, and it's a commitment. But I think it's really entertaining, as long as you're at a bar that it works. It works, you know, because some of them aren't set up.
You can't have it on just 2 to 3 screens. You made an excellent point. Either the bar commits to it and they're gonna sit there and bite the cost in wiring all those TVs together, or it's just time to walk away.
A sports bar atmosphere.
And then the other thing you were talking about is the evolution of just the DJing in general. I think Mike and I saw a tweet about, you know, just the invention of MP3 was huge, and you got to experience before and after that. So
I used to have to carry records up a ladder.
Here we go.
Can you imagine what that
in the snow?
Dude, we've heard the carrying of records story quite a few times.
There we go.
Oh,
I'm sure
my
Magic's gonna pop
gosh.
in the chat here soon.
Yeah, it was at a bar. It was originally called Park Alley. Then it became Flyers, and it was great because the DJ booth was up high. And you know, back in those days, as I date myself again, you know, they had the Tech 12s and a mixer there for you.
That's true.
So all your responsibility was just bringing the music and bringing the party. I miss those days. For me, a good DJ should be able to play on what's there, whether it's a Tech 12 or the Pioneer DD, whatever it may be. You should be able to play on that.
You had to bring your own needles, I assume. Yep, that's all we had to do. Just kidding.
or else
we got age jokes now, but yeah, with the evolution of the needle, yes.
Or else you lose them that night. Someone else fills in or decides to come up and grab your record or tone arm, and it just completely rips
just went bye-bye.
100? Yeah, that was the day.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys tell us what one of your favorite shows that you can remember, whether it was recent or older. Jay Smith, we'll start with you. What's a show that just pop, you know?
Oh, wow. Well, I've had a bunch. Outdoor events, but I was doing this wedding, and I know it's weird to do, but this wedding was unlike any other wedding. It was outdoors, and it was actually a club wedding. Like, it was just outdoors. The weather was perfect. The lights, everything was just kicking in, and it was like it was dope. It was, to me, I mean, there was a big amount of people there, and it was fun. but it was club. I was turntabled up and just going at it.
Where was this?
This was in Columbus somewhere. I forget now, but of course, I mean, it was a couple years ago, but it was just so dope, you know.
Nice.
That, and of course, every other event I love doing, but I want to get back to that hopefully.
Yeah, we'll be there, man.
Nah, we're gonna be fine.
What about you, Jay? Jay Money. What is favorite performance of yours that comes to mind?
Easy. It was the Essence Festival down in New Orleans at the Superdome. There's nothing like playing in a stadium. You got 60,000 people. You know, granted, I'm filling in between the acts, but oh boy, dropping Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison, and hearing everybody going, "It's driving me," and they're just singing right on. I mean, I'll never forget that memory.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Jinx.
That's you too, Mike. You be stadium DJing. Would
It's
you say
cool,
that's
man.
Yeah.
Listen, I want everyone who wants to experience that. And Jay, maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree with me, but I really I won't say that it's better than, but I really like the intimate crowd settings. You know, I want to hear people singing when I, drop the filter a little bit. And sometimes in those big crowds that get, the more people that are there, and for me, it was a sporting event. The Essence Festival was music related. So Jay Money's got, people who are focused on music there, but, I'm not the star of the show. I might get 1 or 2 times in the 4 to 5 hours that I'm there that I really get a moment where I actually feel like I'm DJing. That being said, super incredible moment, but I do prefer the intimate settings where I'm actually making people dance rather than just providing, background music, and then sometimes you'll get a reaction.
I think we've all been in this situation. What do you like better, being opening act right up against the headliner, or would you rather be a headliner or the guy that goes on after the headliner?
I'd rather be a headliner. That comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, but I'd rather be the headliner.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the times the crowd doesn't know or knows to show up later because there's an opener.
Yeah.
Sometimes the headliner is the only spot to be.
Well, that takes a lot of redlining, though. You know that, right?
Oh man, don't. I need to make a video on that. Right, I forgot. Gain staging.
I can't remember the name of the bar. What was the name of the bar you were at at the Continent, Legend?
Oh, Louis, Crazy Louis.
That was fun.
Yeah, talk about that, because that reopened this past year and then unfortunately shut their doors due to COVID. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it was called Oasis now, but the Continent was kind of Park Street or the Arena District before it was the Arena District, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because talk about that a little bit.
Well, there was, the Continent pretty much was the answer to Long Street Live at one point. It was, downtown whenever there was co-eds and all these back in the day before you guys, this was so awesome. Downtown, campus used to be campus. It was you would see flyers stapled to poles and it was bad. It was during the day, it was kind of sad to look at, but the Continent it's on 161, but that was the answer to that. And it was Nationwide Arena now, or wherever we're going after Nationwide Arena, you know what I mean? Because there's always little pockets that will have the entertainment capital. So it was a lot of fun, man. The Continent was clubs all there, clubs there, bars, shops, just whatever. But Crazy Louis, I mean, I could speak on that. A lot of my friends can speak on Yucatan, which was the only other big club there that was they would battle with each other, but not really, because people would go there or they would just cross. But it
was Carlisle Club there as well? Am I in the wrong place?
Carlisle Club.
Wrong place.
Yeah,
wrong place. That was meant.
Okay,
yeah. So Crazy Louis was. This was back at a time too when there was no. I mean, it was just everything. Everything was on the radio, one station would play absolutely everything. You know, this is back when WCI and all them, they would come out. Like, that's how I met Jay, because he was actually a personality there at 107.5. He came out. So that's how I met him. But it was just, it was free, man. It was like, it's like your best club experience ever. Like, and we've all had them. We've all had those one places where we go, man, I miss those days. I wish I could go back to them sometime. But then you're like, no, because there was a lot of, because you had a lot of trouble too.
We've had a lot of veteran DJs on this podcast already. I don't know if you've watched any episodes, but who are some of the DJs that you linked up with, you know, got along with, kind of came up with in Columbus that I might know? I mean, you know, we got Samurai, Quantum. Did you guys?
Tommy D.
Yeah.
Dwight.
Oh yeah, the whole list. Tommy D, Quantum, of course. We knew each other. We actually DJed at Callahan's together. There's another spot that I liked. Jeff, the old owner, was awesome, man. He was good. Not that I'm saying that Fadi's not. I'm just saying Jeff was awesome. But Quantum, Samurai, of course, we came up. He started a little bit before me, like J Money. Man, there's a whole list. Brian,
man, you remember DJ Rishbone?
I remember Rich.
That's my boy.
I do. Him and I, we've spoken to each other, but never been to really one of each other's shows, I don't think.
He still does the graphics for a lot of the Peerless flyers and stuff, and he kind of shifted gears. But I remember he was a good DJ. He did a lot of mashups, a lot of those funky mixes and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, he's doing his thing, man. I salute any of the guys that's still trying to do whatever they can, like Austin and I don't know if you guys remember Doughboy. I don't know if you guys remember those guys, but Austin and Toby and all those guys.
Toby, yeah.
Jimmy Sexton.
Man, Jimmy Sexton was, yeah, he was he was like, when I first met him, he's like, I was like drunk as shit. He was like, why do you want to become a DJ? And I was like, man, this is my passion. He's like, I'm just making sure it's for the love of music and not for drinking. I was like,
yeah.
Damn, man.
I was literally 20 years old.
Right.
I think it's funny that a lot of our stories and meeting each other will start off, yeah, I was drunk as shit, or
or I wasn't drunk at 20. I was drinking water. I mean,
yeah. Your mother's on here, man.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Corrupt.
Yeah.
Yo,
she's always.
J Money, you were talking about video DJing earlier, and you actually had a cool thing that when I met you, I thought was cool. You actually went by DJ Money, and I was imagining it was like a branding and marketing move to kind of differentiate yourself from like the you know, everyone DJ Access, DJ Corrupt, DJ J Legend. Talk about that, and then how important was video to like your brand?
Video became my brand. I had to separate myself from everybody else. That's something that was a very conscious move on my part. I wanted people to know I'm doing video. I can do music as well, but I'm just doing the video aspect of this entertainment business. So.
And were you doing that on DVDs? Like, I know they had, Pioneer had like the DVD, like they were like CDJs, but for DVDs, or were you using like Serato Video or another program?
I was using DVDs at first and then over to Serato.
Okay, cool.
As soon as they came out with their control disc on the CD for the CDJs.
And would you recommend video to like a place that had a dance floor, or would you try to stay at places where maybe it was more of a restaurant or vibey feel? Would you be able to sell your product to like places that had dance floors?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when I was up in Nantucket. You know, that became a freaking gold mine up there. Where I'm not just playing videos, but doing private parties, events. When you're one of the only people that can pull that off on a tiny little island, you can pretty much command whatever you want.
I guess I did. Go ahead, Grum, actually.
I was gonna say, you did well with the branding. I mean, you started out as a legend. You named yourself one.
No,
So,
that's Jay Money.
oh,
The other Jay.
damn it!
All right.
But what I was
All
gonna
right, well, you did good too then.
All right, let's discuss names. How
no,
did you?
no, hold on, real quick. I just want to stay here for a minute. But Jay Money, when I was doing videos, when I had a dance floor, I found that people were watching the screens and not so much dancing. Do you think that like there was an element of video that takes away from the dance floor, or do you think
I think it adds to
hand
it.
in hand? Okay.
I think it adds to it. If I can keep people in a bar and keep them drinking longer, then I can sit there and go to the manager and go, listen, I noticed that more people were spending some time here than they normally do, and they were over at the bar as well. How were the numbers tonight? And I always made sure to be friends with the bartenders and the servers, because they would say, did you do well tonight? Yes. Well, let me go talk to the manager real quick, because I know those numbers are out there.
Mike, I was going to disagree with you just a little bit there because the videos I feel like would be the TVs are more towards the bar. I don't think anybody's looking behind them from the dance floor to watch the videos. Even maybe they are a little bit, but not a significant amount. I think if anything, you got more people vibing at the bar and maybe more, optimistic or buy some shots or something, just watching, chilling. Maybe they don't want to hit the dance floor. So I think it adds to it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Legend. Snoop Dogg just named his top 5 MCs. I know you're a huge fan of everything 90s. We're going to talk about your love of 90s house music here in a minute. But I want to know, and maybe this will be a question for everyone, but who are your top 5 MCs?
Top 5 MCs. All right, you got me thinking on that, because I was like, man, there's so many good MCs that were just, record breaking. Like DMX, of course, and Snoop when they had that versus. I mean, I was live the whole time. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome, because they were pushing each other. But I want to say, okay, so my first one, this is not in any order, but my first one. He's not really a lyricist. He is an MC. He did do a lot of other people's rhymes. Like he had writers on his team. From NWA, it's Eazy-E. Only because that was the first tape I bought that I was like, man, okay, NWA, I heard of them, and I'm like, okay, being a white boy and whatever, and it was so fun. But Eazy-E really spoke to me. Again, that was really cool. It wasn't speaking my life. I don't know if you've heard any of the stuff, but it was just
back and smack though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my early teens, and I'm like, reach back, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? GTO, what, or or GTA and all that stuff. But so here we go. Rakim.
Yeah,
I gotta love Rakim because he was my New York Eazy-E, if you will, but he was just solid. And then another one, you got to go with Jay-Z. Jay-Z, and every time I heard him, like Reasonable Doubt, his first album, was just one that if I listen to it, I can listen to that whole album on repeat. And of course, your Eminem, I like him. Eminem, I like the way he came out and put himself on blast, exposed himself. Like anybody that can come out and just do that, you're pretty much bulletproof in the game, in my opinion, because no one's going to come out. Nobody can say anything to you that you don't already know. And of course, Tupac, Big. Those are honorable mentions, only because they're goats. But there's this guy locally. He came out of Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Slim. I don't know if you guys have ever heard anything he does. His claim to fame was "Girls Kiss Girls." It was a pretty big track. It was a pretty big track, I think, 2000s. But just everything, I had to consume everything that he had written and everything he'd done. And it was a lot of fun stuff. It was about partying and nothing, it was just all about partying and having fun. And of course, I was there mentally. It was, I tend to just listen to somebody flip words. If you can flip words and take my mind there, then that's where I want to, that's who I really want to listen to. But I got, again, honorable mention. I got to go with Tupac Big, Mobb Deep. But yeah, my top 5: Eazy-E, Rakim, Jay-Z, Pittsburgh Slim, Eminem.
Cool. J Money, why don't you give us your top 3 or three of your top favorite MCs?
Rakim, Run, and I'll take the Beastie Boys.
Oh, he's taking the package deal. I like it.
I want the package deal. I like the Beasties.
That's a good one. What about you, Krupp?
They helped change that game.
Big time. Oh yeah, I'm definitely
trying to duplicate, but Eminem, Mobb Deep, Johnny Benz.
Salute to Johnny Benz.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Get in the mic.
Johnny Benz, man. Talk about flipping words.
DJ Nate's gonna be upset about that. He needs to be in that conversation.
Sugar Bar was my starting point.
Oh, I didn't know we could bring, locals in, man. Come on.
Damn.
Johnny Benz, though, for real.
Yeah.
And for my 3, I'll go with Drake, Ice Cube, and Will Smith as my sleeper pick.
Yeah, Will Smith.
I salute those 3. There's definitely, yeah.
I got a question for you, Legend.
What's that?
How did you get your name?
I forgot. I got a message while I was talking to you guys. I got to shout out Rick DeVore, Ricky D.
Yeah.
He brought me into the game. Well, actually, he didn't bring me, but he taught me. Him and Dante Scuderi. Remember Dante, J Money?
I do.
So Dante was driving around one day and he saw this truck that said Jack L. Woods or something like that. So he started calling me Jack L. Smith. And I was like, oh, well, then the L, what is it going to stand for? So I'm thinking back to these other DJs that came before me, like Jazzy Jeff, the Magnificent, like just bigger than life names. So, of course, I'm like, L, Legend. So that's how that came about. What about you, Money?
Mine was actually given to me in radio, but I just took it, ran with it, branded it. How can I make it bigger and larger than life?
All right, I got to ask you guys, says AXCESS, Corrupt. Again, we go back to the old school. So I try to call, I still know my friends as their DJ names. I know your guys' names, but I when I say, hey, yo, Corrupt, what's up? AXCESS, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got to ask you guys, how did you get your guys' names? Because they're very, different than everybody else's. Yeah, they're unique. So
you want to start, James?
I mean, I was playing SOCOM like nonstop, SOCOM 2, Navy SEALs in school, and it was my username. And then, MySpace, some reason I was Corrupt on there. It just came out of nowhere, and then has nothing to do with government or anything with police or anything like that. It's just, it was a cool name, and I ran with it. Back when I first started DJing, and I made that logo myself, and it was weird. It's like I didn't realize how much branding was going to go behind a name. I was just like, I think I just need a cool name, and it worked out though. Like
big time.
I didn't have to have any like side logos or any kind of like side gimmicks with it. It's just I've thought about changing it a million times, and I really like it. I really like the logo. I really like how it's a little bit edgy. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Do not change that. Fantastic.
Well, yeah, whenever like I heard your name, I didn't think that it came from anything like negative, like DJ. I will literally kill you. But no,
you know what's weird though is I'll randomly get tagged in like political and like police posts from like on my like Facebook page, like just people are like just adding Corrupt or whatever. Just like what?
And no thing is bad publicity.
Yeah, I guess.
Mine was a nerdy thing. So I started DJing on CDs, and so I'd burn CDs and sorry. I would burn CDs, and then in order to, I was in this class called S&E 100 or something like that. And we learned about Microsoft Access. And I looked at that program and I go, man, I can database all my CDs so that all I have to do is type in, you know, Sexy Back, and it's going to tell me it's on CD 3, track 1, BPM and all that. And it was basically like my form of like iTunes, but for my CDs. And someone caught me doing that while I was DJing in the dorm. They're like, that is the nerdiest shit I've ever seen. You should be DJ Access. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll be DJ Access. And then I put that stupid X in there, which is the bane of my existence because I wanted to be cool and I didn't take it seriously. And then boom, here we are.
I don't know, man. I like it though.
Dude,
I like it.
You
It's cool.
flipped it to be good. Like I really like it.
I appreciate that, James.
Yeah, but I do think you should have like random samples throughout your set of like Windows startup and shit like that. Like I don't know.
Just people get it.
Like on a computer.
I don't know if people would get it. Although someone there was one Joe Rogan clip where he had Wiz Khalifa on. I'm just listening to it, and Wiz Khalifa has a cool story. But he's like talking about the old days, and he's like, people love Access. And I was like, finally, I have like a clip that that I could use. I've been using that sample like before mixtapes. Like, what they're talking about is pretty deep, but like at the end, he says people love Access, and that's like how I lead into it. But
by the way, I'm digging both you guys' mixtapes, man, or mixes.
Thanks, man.
Likewise, let's talk about your mixtape that you put 2 out the last few days.
Throwbacks.
Yep, 90s house. Talk about it, man.
That just came out of one of my friends was sending some people some MP3s around, and I'm like, all right. And then he sends a bunch of, some 90s stuff. I'm like, oh, why not? Because it was just fun, man. I remember playing those records brand new. So, well, from 94 on, you know what I mean? But it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. And I put those together and it was cool, man. Then I got a third installment coming out. So I'm going to put those to Mixcloud. So everybody just wait on those. But I just enjoy I just enjoy that bouncy. Not that I'm saying anything's wrong with, because I love a lot of, again, music, you could say it's gotten worse, but I think it's gotten better because more people are imagining different things. So, but 90s it always brings back good memories for me, at least.
For sure.
Ones that I can remember.
What the one song, Fetty LeGrand, Put Your Hands Up for Detroit, still just hits so good for me. Dude, I don't know.
See, that's, what's, like, I want to ask you guys that too. Like, what's a good song, like Fetty LeGrand? Like mine, I'll start off with the Devonay, and Mike knows about him now, Energy. Mm-hmm. Devonay, he did this track, Energy, and it's just, to me, that's one that always, every time I hear it, I'm in a good mood, I'm bouncing, it's cool.
It's a great set opener, and that's exactly what I asked you for. And it's like not one of those songs that you can like find on iTunes anymore. It's like you gotta have the vinyl, you gotta have somebody who has it. So luckily we got you, man.
You, Access, what's up? So what's a song that you got that just puts you in that zone?
I got a whole folder of them, man. Finally by CeCe Peniston, if we're sticking in like the 90s house stuff.
Well, no, you don't, like he said Fetty LeGrand, that's not 90s.
Oh, yeah, man. I could say Finally by CeCe Peniston. I could say Robin S., Show Me Love.
Soul House.
Yeah, dude, that's where I was like 4 years old, like listening to that stuff. And like there's videos of like home videos of me like bouncing to Daft Punk and all that. So it was.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other artists that were good. I imagine it was just stuff my mom was listening to, but thank goodness.
Robert asks us if you guys think DJs will ever fade away, or do you think it'll just continue to evolve? What do you think?
Continue to evolve.
It's weird when you ask DJs this. It's because we're so into the scene. Like, I don't imagine a jukebox or anything like any kind of app having the same effect of having somebody play the music live. it's
You're 100% correct.
it would have already. I feel like it would have already happened.
I'm like a
Also.
puppet master. I can sit there and play with people's emotions and take them back to a place in time. Oh, well, I remember that song. I was in junior high. That was this, that was that. So I agree with you. I don't ever see that happen.
What do you think?
It'll
What do you think, Legend?
continue to evolve.
I think it'll continue to evolve because here, coming from me personally, here's what I like is I know I do my sets, and I feel I'm capable of doing my sets. I feel I'm good, just like you guys are all good. I like seeing you young guys take it to another level because that makes us older guys keep up. But at the same time, we're always evolving, so it's not like we're trying to play catch up completely. But like Access, I go watch your shows. Corrupt, I see your shows. Brandon, B-Rob, I see these young kids shows and I like it, man. And I'm not just saying you guys just that's all, but
It's
like
weird when you call us young because
We're
Vlex,
looking
all
at other
those
dudes
guys.
calling them young guys.
we
right?
got younger guys under us now that are like doing TikToks to get bookings. So I everything
Get
changes.
off my lawn.
Dude, I'm so bad
Hey,
at
thank you.
TikTok. I tried once.
I'll play devil's advocate here. So I think that I could develop a program that could DJ. And here's what I'm thinking. So you have Touch Tunes, right? That would kind of be like, if I had to pick a company to like adopt this, it would be Touch Tunes. And Touch Tunes adds like a DJ update where as you walk into Dahlia, you get a notification on your phone from Spotify. This bar has Spotify running through Touch Tunes. Would you like to sync your Spotify to the Touch Tunes? Some people are going to say no. Some people are going to say yes, right? And then now this Touch Tunes has a library of every liked song that people have in their Spotify. Now the second update might have like an infrared sensor, or a volume or a density, some way to collect information about the density of the club. And kind of like Pandora does the Music Genome Project, you could assign energy levels to songs. So as the infrared meter warms up, more bodies in the club, the energy level goes up. As the density of the club goes up, or maybe it's just a knob that the general manager turns, and it's levels 1 to 10. And using the Music Genome Project that has different energies. So I think that one day, maybe there won't be the elimination of a DJ, but the idea of, having something like Touch Tunes where the client pays for Touch Tunes, the bars don't, versus the bar owner paying a DJ, I think some of those opportunities could go away. I want to know what you guys think.
I feel that.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
I feel that, but at the same time, it takes away the personal touch. I personally like seeing a crowd, and I think a crowd likes to see a live band or a live DJ. Mm-hmm. You guys have all been to like EDC and all that stuff, and we've all been to like some kind of festival. Don't you like seeing that artist up there as opposed to just gathering a bunch of people and listening to that album?
As a DJ, yes, but I see a lot of people at music festivals who wouldn't know the DJ, and don't really care as long as the music's loud and those lights are moving around.
But there's people like that all over, though.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, I appreciate that, but when I look around, I'm like, don't y'all see this? And it's the last thing on their mind.
I don't disagree that the technology is easy, that it can be done, but I don't, like he's talking about personality. It's not just that, like there's no element of surprise. So you talk about people's Spotify, like that doesn't mean they might want to hear a song they forgot about that they want to add to their Spotify and stuff like that. Not only that, but DJs now have the ability to take any request on point anytime, and that's just going to get easier and easier. So if somebody really wants to request their song, they're going to come up to the DJ. I think having a DJ up there it's not just even about somebody like being in control of the music. It's just the presence of essentially an artist, musician handling the party. And that's why they have DJs at small like house parties, because it's just they could easily run their mix and be good, but like having a DJ just extra energy into the room. I do think there could be some potential bars that are like weirdly signatured for that though, Mike. Like, like maybe not your biggest nightclubs in the country or world, but maybe like
Like a
just some
standard
small.
hall.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's
How about you, J
kind of what I've
Money?
been thinking.
You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't see DJs.
It's sad to think about, bro.
I know. I'm like, oh God, literally painful. I'm like, no. That'd be like saying you get rid of DJs, then you may as well get rid of bands as well.
Or what if you're like a small town? You know, maybe the small there's not many DJs around, so then you have to do something like that. I don't know.
Everybody's a DJ now, man.
Everyone's a DJ. You're right.
But Corrupt, you were right though. Like, I don't know. I see it. I don't see it ever going away. It would have happened by now, because
Absolutely.
With technology making everybody a DJ now, it would have definitely gone away. But there's only the few of us that can actually sit here and say we have the skills and the talent and knowing how to read a room. I mean, that comes with it, you know. And a lot of places, yeah, they may want to hire the cheaper guy or go all tech and not have a live DJ there. But you can't really trade that experience though, man.
On top of that, if you are a place that books national acts, then you're going to want to have a resident DJ as well to properly open the rooms and stuff like that. Because you're not going to get you sync everyone's Spotify on a show night. It's going to be real bad.
Yep, I
That's a train wreck waiting to happen.
I want to hit two real quick questions before we go to show and tell. Bars, so we talked about it last week when we thought that bars were going to be able to stay open, but it looks like they are closing at 10 p.m. We've had one weekend and we're moving into weekend 2. What do you guys think about the rule, and how can bars adapt to be profitable with these rules in place?
Money.
Hey, Money, you're the business guy.
The rule at 10 o'clock sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. How can it be profitable? I would sit there and say, from my standpoint, let me come rock the party for a little bit with my video mixes. They're fun, they're entertaining. I can keep more butts in seats longer by doing that. People don't need booze to have a good time.
Okay. What do you think, Legend?
I could agree with that, but if you're talking about keeping people in seats, you're going to need booze, and that's just from my opinion. Because if they cut liquor sales at a bar, yeah, there's dry bars that you can go to, and I just think that they're going to need the liquor sales there. But about the whole 10 o'clock rule, I got a world premiere that I'd like to talk about if I can on the show. Yeah, world premiere, world star, right? I'm going to be, I just picked up a residency in Tampa/Sarasota with Set Management, DJ Marshall out of New York. I'm going to be flying down there once a month and doing Kona Grill in Sarasota or Tampa once a month right now. And that's going from 6 to 10. And I think that it works. I think we can still make it a way to work. If you know that the bars have to be done selling or shutting down at 11, then you could still get a good 6 to 10 set in there. Mm-hmm. You know, you just make sure that it's the right facility for it, not, like they would have local bars, but even local bars, some around here are still doing it, man. They'll do 6 to 10 and then shut it down at 11.
Corrupt, what was last week like at Dahlia?
It was bad. We tried, but we also didn't push. We didn't get the word out that much. It was the first week of it. But here's the thing. I don't think this is going to last long at all. I also think that if it did, people would adapt. I mean, LA bars close at 11 right now. I don't think the 10 curfew is going to last long. I mean, there's places, BBR, for example, they're done serving alcohol at 10. They can close whenever they want, really. but like they'll close at like 11 or 12 or something like that. But I agree that people can have a good time without drinking, but that's not what the owners want to hear. The owner and people that want to make, they're hurting right now. So these patio parties could work. It's got to become like a new routine, a new normal. A lot of people getting off of work. It could work, but I don't think it's going to last long. I think a lot of places are hurting. The economy's going to be hurting. Until I see the data too that cases are spiking after 10 or whatever. When people are drunk, they're being more reckless, like whatever. Like I just want to see that. Maybe it'll take a month to get that data. We'll see, but I just don't think it's going to last. Maybe I'm being optimistic though.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there is some positive news coming out. The U.S. had their first day where the cases went down. 2 days ago? I didn't get to check today, but 2 days ago was like the first day since July 4th that the number of cases had decreased. So yay!
I read there was one county in Ohio that actually was decreasing in cases. So yeah, I don't know. I forget which county it was, but one of the counties in Ohio, like, and yes, things will change either come election time or the fact that people are starting to listen, or I don't know. I'm not going to get into any,
I was going to have to stop you, Jay.
No. I'm not getting on anything like that, man. That's not my speed.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is requiring deposits and contracts in 2020. Since I've been a DJ, the older generation of DJs has talked about, have contracts when you go into these nightclubs, set up something. And then on the mobile side of thing, it was all about deposits. In 2020, there has been people are, signing their contracts or the deposits. And now when their events are canceled or postponed or they're not well attended, bar owners and clients are asking for those agreements to be voided and asking for their money back or, not honoring their contracts. Have you guys seen anything like this? What do DJs need to do to prepare for this kind of stuff? And J Money, business guy, I want to go to you.
I haven't seen it. My contracts have all been honored. I'm not out there right now with COVID and everything else trying to land a gig, but my contracts have always been honored.
Cool. Jay, Legend?
Yeah, it's finicky, man. That's a double-edged sword right there. So I look at it like this is an unprecedented year, period, for everybody involved. You can't compare this year to anything any of us have ever lived. So with that being said, yes, I do like deposits, and of course, contracts are great, but who's to say that this person, they're dead set on getting married or anything like that, and COVID hits their family personally. Now, that's an act of God, man. That's, we can call it that way. It's like a typhoon all of a sudden. But it's like, I feel personally that's okay to give the deposit back. If you know that something has rocked that family so hard, but if they just change because, it's supposed to rain that day, then I'll work with them and say, hey, I'll be there for your next date if you can work with me. You know what I mean? Let's figure out a time. But you gotta prepare for all this stuff. Like this year is just, with all these cancellations too. I know I've had a lot, but I'm sure all of you guys, everybody's had a lot of cancellations out of nowhere. It's just picking what is a good reason to give it a deposit back, and you gotta, and I just like to think on that human level, like they may need that money for something else.
Now I feel like Scrooge.
I feel for you wedding DJs though. I really do, because I know you guys fill your schedules every year, and it's hard. Weddings are just such a big financial gain, but at the same time, pretty risky when it comes to COVID. So like you said, nothing like this has happened before. I can only speak on the club contracts, and those are, if you get a deposit, usually it's such a small amount, and they'll let, that's pretty much, you keep that.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, 'cause that's for like a one night stand, right?
yeah, exactly. And then, you
I think
know,
they
you
call it
gotta,
a one-off.
yeah.
One night stand. I got jokes for that one.
I got.
And then it's like on you to get your, if you know, if your flight and hotel was on your end to get, hopefully you can get those refunded. But
Yeah.
if it wasn't, they'll take care of it, you know, on their end. So
Access, tomato, tomato, man. Tomato, tomato.
What do you mean tomato, tomato? Oh, yeah, I feel you. Let's go to show and tell. Legend, you got some new gear, some new headphones, some new control. You want to talk about that?
Actually, you and I had a conversation because, again, I love my turntables to pieces, never get rid of that. But I did have to realize that I am flying once a month now. So I got the DDJ 1000 SRT, started playing with that today, just arrived. I love it, man. I love the platter size. It feels comfortable because I was using a smaller controller and it just didn't do everything I needed, especially if I'm going to be doing a show, not just going to a wedding. Because a wedding, you can have, you know, your controller Pioneer SR2, and that's great. But you know, you're not trying to do tricks and everything. To
is
me,
that a
anyway.
2-channel or 4-channel?
4.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
4 channels, 2 decks.
Yeah, it's Serato. Yeah, because why I had to ask you those questions, because I was like, man, I see the record box version. Then I had to just scroll down a little bit instead of asking you, but instead I just asked you.
I'm just like Google, man. As long as
I don't. Well, when it comes to equipment, yeah, you got it all on lock. But
Yeah,
see,
bro.
I could Google answers, and I just, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna bother my friend.
No, man, it was all good. I was, you know, I love to talk about that stuff. Get out of here.
Yeah.
J Money, what you got for show and tell, bro?
My little Essence Festival badge, main stage artist.
I like that. Those credentials, man.
Yeah.
Once you get handed those,
Oh, they're like gold, man.
someone get me a sandwich. You know what I'm
Where's my trailer?
Oh, man.
Talk about Essence, man. Like, for maybe there's a DJ out there that doesn't know about Essence. You know, what is it? How'd you get involved? And
It's a huge music festival. It's the largest African American gathering for the past 2 decades, I believe. You know, it's 3 nights of music, food, and fun. You have all kinds of artists from, say, Beyonce, Usher. Who else? Belle Biv DeVoe. I mean, you had New Edition, and they broke down into Belle Biv DeVoe, Ralph Tresvant, Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill. It was just fun.
did any celebrities dap you up and be like, "Yo, man, great set before this," or is kind of?
Did you have pictures?
Come on, Jay.
I have plenty of pictures.
Okay.
He posted
Not
one
on me, but I have plenty of pictures.
I was gonna say, you posted the one with Terry Crews and who else? Was it Vivica
Terry
Fox
Crews,
or somebody?
Mike Levi, Victoria Dunn. Yeah, I have a bunch of them. Sometimes I use them as profile pics. All depends on what's going on. Like, I'll probably switch mine over to the one with Terry Crews, only because he's got so much going on right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, he definitely does.
I can be like, I knew that guy. I met him. He liked me as a DJ. But that's one funny dude, though.
His pecs were probably dancing to your music at that point.
That's our first show credential show and tell. I like it.
Yep, I do too, man. I want to move to tastemakers. So, what is a song or album you guys have listened to in the past week that you're reeling and feeling? This could be old or new. And let's start with Legend.
Money.
Legend.
Start with Money.
All right, we'll start with Money.
Okay. This is going to be a little different, only because of the circumstances I have going on in my life right now. Recently got engaged, so.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Appreciate
Congratulations.
it. Finally. But it's been Guy, Let's Chill.
Oh, I know Guy. Yeah. That's not his number one song, is it?
No.
What's his go-to song? Or their go-to song? It's a band, right? Or a group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fronted by Teddy Riley.
Mm.
You know who Teddy Riley is?
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Blackstreet.
Oh, he's in Blackstreet.
Yeah, he was
No diggity, no doubt.
Diggity, yep. But was Blackstreet a one-hit wonder? What was their other hit?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know.
That's irrelevant. But yeah, so you've been listening to some Guy.
We're all like, huh?
I'm like trying to dig into this conversation.
Well, if you count Blackstreet's No Diggity, Booty Call.
Booty Call, yeah.
Booty Call was their next claim to fame.
Like Booty Call.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Sometimes I'll just come home from the grocery store and put that on. Start dancing. I won't even put my groceries away, bro. Oh, man.
No, you know what I actually like listening to? It's a station out of New York, WBLS. Nothing but 90s.
Really?
Totally dig it. I'll plug iHeart for that one. It's available on iHeartRadio.
Nice.
Legend, what 90s artists have you been listening to? Because I know it's 90s.
No. Well, I mean, we could stay in that. You know, we could just do a whole show about that. No, so I got hip to this guy, Wayne Cochran. He's a 60s singer. I had to look him back up, but so he was big in the 60s, and this dude is crazy looking. If you guys want to look him up, Wayne Cochran, he was known as the White Knight of Soul. I'm glad I finished that with of soul. But he was so this dude's got a huge like blonde hair pompadour, and the thing is, his music is actually groovy, man. It's funk, you know.
You said groovy.
Yeah, it's groovy, man.
I'm Last Kiss.
Can you dig it?
Song. Is Last Kiss the best song?
Huh? Yes.
Last Kiss is the best song.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was the one that's been obviously, you know, it's who was Eddie Vedder.
No, I don't know. Spotify knows. I know that.
Well, Last Kiss. Last Kiss is his biggest song, but it was redone by somebody, a couple people nowadays. Actually, it's been done by a couple bands or whatever. But yeah, it's just his music. For some reason, I just was like, wow, okay. And I totally out of nowhere, I don't even remember where I heard him from.
So tell me your favorite.
Huh?
I said, tell me your favorite story about me.
Okay, there's two in one. So they're not my favorite, but they happen, true stories. Mm-hmm. So after many nights of malted hops, we would end up back at Jay Money's place and pass out and then wake up, and it would be like stupid TV all day while we were just like whatever, still wasted pretty much. But so two events. One was the death of Whitney Houston. We woke up to that, still drunk, and the death of Michael Jackson, which was weird because both of them very sad events. But what was crazy about it is I had to be at his house. You know what I mean? That's what the whole thing ties together. We're all wasted and we're watching the CNN all day about this.
This is why he's not allowed over at my house anymore.
I was gonna say, after we lost MJ, that's definitely a ban.
Celebrity deaths seem to happen whenever him and I enjoy the malted hops the night before.
Well, that's something neither one of us have to really worry about anymore.
This is gonna end up in some conspiracy video, like
this
clip on the Columbus DJ podcast where they predicted.
Don't give this to Joey.
Oh, and the night before, that's all the music what we were playing was Whitney Houston. No, I'm kidding. I don't want anybody thinking that.
Damn.
Hey, look, you guys can. I didn't make it that way. Man, you guys just went, damn, he killed everything, man.
That's what we do. This is what we do on the Columbus DJ podcast, man. We twist and flip things.
Yeah.
Just
Corrupt,
wait
what you
till
been listening to, man?
That is just bad luck.
They have to be 90s.
No, whatever, dude. Whatever you
Anything.
listening to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in you and Accesses. I want to hear some of this new stuff.
Well, no, because Tribe Called Quest I had on earlier, but it was like early 90s, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. So they were like, but I've been listening to some chiller stuff. I got Kid Cudi, Just What I Am is a good track I've been vibing to.
Is
Featuring,
that a single or is that off an
it's just a single. It's off of his how do you say this? It's his name backwards, I think. Cudi. I don't know what album it is. Indicud. Is that a word?
Indicush? I don't know.
Bro, I don't know. Just INDICUD.
Is it new or is it a little bit older?
It's newer.
Okay.
No,
Good
it's
vibes?
not. It's 2013.
Damn.
But I started listening to that because of other stuff that he has released recently. The one
Mhm.
with Travis Scott and then his other one that he just did with Eminem. And then it just started flipping over to all this old Cudi that I hadn't heard in a long time or ever. And I was just at the pool just vibing to Cudi all day. So
Yeah, Man on the Moon is definitely one of my favorite hip hop albums for sure.
I like Kid Cudi, man. That guy's solid.
Not a big fan of his newer stuff, but definitely the old stuff. I've been listening to some Lil Uzi Vert, and because I
There you
remember you
go.
guys mentioned it on the last podcast, and I
meaty.
realized I missed the album.
Yep.
So I've picked up a couple singles. It was kind of it did sound similar. I mean, granted, I was in the gym when I was listening to it, but
which
you
one?
know, it's the newest album, whatever that is.
Eternal Take?
I will
Probably.
tell you in a second. Yes, Eternal
Yeah.
Take. I favorited Myron, obviously, and then got the Guap, and then the rest I just thought were okay. It just sounded. I'm surprised. Now that I look at it, I'm surprised I didn't like the one with Gunna and Young Thug. I usually like those guys, but
Gotcha.
yeah, that was it. Lil Uzi Vert, I would say 6 out of 10.
A lot of people don't like him because he's just real cocky, but I like he's very trendy.
Some
Very-
people say mindset is everything, man. You got to believe you're the best to be the best.
I've been rocking some Juice World too, man.
Yep, we talked about
yeah.
that last week.
Yeah,
Juice
we did
World,
talk-
his features, I like that stuff, man. Yeah, you were saying you were at the gym rocking to Benita Applebum. Was that it?
We need an Applebum.
You got
Said
to
that.
the Applebum.
Tribe Called Quest. No, Rick Ross was the last thing I was rocking at the gym.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, gym music's a completely different playlist, bro.
Trying to what is that?
Yeah, I don't have one guy.
Dido. You got some Dido on at the gym.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, tips for listeners. My favorite segment. Yo, guys, between the two of you, we got like 40 years of experience. Massive crowds, weddings, bars, nightclubs. What tips do you have for listeners? And
Trying to get into the
start
DJing.
with Legend. You passed the money last time. We're going to start with you. Tips for listeners.
That are trying to get into the game, or
Tips for listeners.
just tips for listeners. Okay, so if you're listening right now and you're trying to get into the game, then do your homework. I 100% say do your homework. Yeah, it's good to know these guys and good to have contacts. Contacts are a lot, especially getting started out. But do your homework first. Just don't, fake it till you make it, because then you get caught real quick and you don't last. At least in my opinion. We've all seen them come and go. Great DJs that could have been something, but they were just didn't know where they were coming from first. So that's why I say do homework, always.
Now, when you say do your homework, do you mean practice? Do you mean go back and look at like kind of what came before you in the DJ realm or in the music realm?
Yeah. So say someone goes to your Corrupt show and says, "Man, that's exactly what I want to do." Yeah, they got to follow you. Listen to the music you're playing. Watch. Do their homework. Go home and practice what you watch those guys do. You know, even if it's like, yeah, you get frustrated at first because no one starts out perfect, well, except me. But what you got to do is, I'm kidding, guys.
No,
You guys are all
I
negative.
caught that. I caught that.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, just do your homework. You know, go back, research the music that, you know, like, because you may start off with, like, okay, what's that? December Underground, AFI, perfect. I liked them whenever December Underground first came out. But then I was like, man, I went back to their old catalog and they got a lot of skate and BMX songs. And I was like, oh, that's, you know, that's hitting right there. But I like December Underground. But see, that's what I mean. It's like, go back and listen to, say, Corrupt Set, and you hear a song by MK. Well, you don't realize MK's been out for a minute.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's not just, you know, all of a sudden, you know, 2020's hot kid, man. So you know, I just say do homework, practice, read, you know your music inside and out. You know, even if you don't, at least listen to it, you know. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Do your homework. J Money, what tips you have for listeners?
If you're just starting out in the game, I'm going to continue with what Legend said. Practice, practice, practice. A dance floor is all about the women, and keep an eye on those bar sales.
That he brought sales into it. Shot time.
I'm going to actually add a tips for listeners as well this week. Watch my video. I just put it out yesterday. It's going to go up on YouTube yesterday, so if you guys are watching this. But it's about DJs need great photos. I agree with these guys 100% that practice will make you a better DJ and will keep you the job. But in order to get the job in the first place, I think DJs need to have great photos. I go over tips for, you know, how to hire a photographer, how to scout what kind of poses and locations you want, how to do everything with respect to having really nice photos for your brand and marketing, which J Money will tell you is very important. So make sure you check that out. And Corrupt, want to give you an opportunity to give a tip for listeners as well, since I gave one.
I think being someone that's starting out, you're probably younger. So humility, just understand that the way you come off is gonna affect your reputation in the industry you're trying to get into. Any stupid mistakes could easily, no matter how good of a DJ you are, or you know what kind of hustle you're doing, if you're not you know, being a grown-up, being mature in the industry, respecting the people, your managers, your bar owners, your bartenders, other DJs, obviously. You know, when I was young, I, for the most part, did things right, but there was also some times where I had to learn the hard way. And I think that I like that. I like that I did that, because then now I can tell you guys that I think it's really important. So just be humble, and if you know you're a good DJ, just be confident. It's different. Yeah, because I know a lot of young DJs right now that think they have it all figured out, and it's frustrating because
I like that you said that you took your knocks and you learned from them. That's all of us. We all, like, I know Jay did, I did, you know, and just because you come up with a big, larger than life name, don't live it. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's a definite, yeah. Be nice to other DJs, especially, because all these can all become contacts and friends. And hey, can you fill in for me one night? You know what I mean? And then maybe someone will see you and go, yes, we want that kind of guy. So
I remember having to be the bridge between management and DJs sometimes. Oh, those were not fun conversations to have.
You're always so diplomatic about everything.
You always see both sides,
you know
man.
What? I try to be, because I don't want to sit there and go, I don't want to pull a DJ T, you're fired. Or Vince McMahon, you're fired.
I would also like to add one more thing to that, Mike, because I think not everyone is capable of doing this. A lot of people love to share their opinions on social media, whether it's on politics, the virus, whether just anything. But there is a downside to that too, because a lot of people will judge you and maybe not even come to see you play based on your opinion on something that has nothing to do with DJing. That's just the world we live in now. It doesn't mean it's right. It's just the way it is. So, if you're going to be posting your opinions, and they're negative opinions on all the kinds of stuff going on in the world today, just understand that you're putting yourself out there to be labeled a certain way. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your opinions. You obviously have every right to every opinion you have. But once you put it out there, you're not going to please everyone, and it's just important.
I would say the same thing can go for bartenders and servers.
Yeah, I agree.
You want people to come see you in this service industry business. If you're sitting out there putting all this negativity out there, why do I want to be around a negative person who may have a totally opposite opinion of what I have?
Thank you.
Like-minded people tend to stay with like-minded people.
It's really hard for anyone especially when they feel strongly about something. We're all very creative. We're artists. So not sharing your opinion when you see somebody that you see somebody make a dumb post and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna reply. It's like, that's just how it is for us. But that is something that I work on every day.
My grandmother used to sit there and say, sometimes, Jay, you got to sit there and bite your tongue till it bleeds. It's gonna hurt, but you just got to bite your tongue.
I feel like if we could phone in like someone, I'd want to like call Govin and be like, Govin, what do you think about this? Actually, I want to talk about this next week. I called it managing social media. Do you keep it real or keep it positive? And I think we have Atomic and JB on next week. So we'll talk more about that because I think it deserves longer than, the 2 to 3 minutes.
I'll be watching that.
Cool.
Me too.
Guys, where can people find you? What are your social media handles since we kind of just went there?
Jay.
DJ Money for Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. I kept it all under that. You can even find that's DVDJ Money. That works for Gmail, Yahoo, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. It works for it all.
The whole shebang bang.
On the gram, I'm hip. DJ JAY_legend LEGEND or Facebook JL Smith JAYL_SMITH. Yeah, I'm spelling things out for him.
Nice.
Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's accessible. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Here we go.
I kid, man. Yeah, but I have had to that whole online presence. I've been just as guilty as some of those people by making comments or trolling or just being dumb whenever I know my role, and that's to make people either laugh or entertain.
Yeah, I got a question.
You do be posting some good memes, Legend.
Are you trolling Gonzo?
No. Dude,
I think you troll Gonzo.
Gonzo is one of my dearest friends. Of course I troll him.
But he's a Yankee fan, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So
you'd think him and I would battle about that, but no, we just battle over memes or whatever else.
I love it.
Gonzarelli is one of the coolest cats in the world, though. So,
well, dude, we appreciate you guys coming on here. Obviously, one of my favorite things is reconnecting with DJs I haven't seen in a very long time. This podcast has allowed us to kind of bring the DJ community a little bit closer, and then maybe hopefully stay in touch more with everybody. So, we have so much respect for what you guys paved for us too. So,
thank you.
Man, I appreciate you guys, and I definitely want to come check out you guys because all the young guys, like I was saying, I don't want to leave anybody out. You guys are definitely doing your thing, and you guys impress the hell out of me. Not that I'm the bar, but I'm just saying I love watching you guys play. Not just
thanks, man.
I like watching you two play, and then Magic and Duck as well.
Yeah, I loved watching those two play together. Never got old.
I don't know if I like watching them podcast, but I love watching them DJ.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do the podcast with them. They're just bickering. They're literally next to each other.
And then they'd be like,
Look like bananas in pajamas arguing with them.
oh,
No,
man.
I love Magic Tape.
Yo,
Magic.
gentlemen, do you have any topics you want to cover before I wrap this up?
Equality and love.
Quality
all.
and love. And on that note, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video. If you want to see more podcast episodes, gear reviews, question and answer streams, subscribe, obviously. And then let us know in the comments what you want to see. Are we asking the right questions? Are we having the right guests? Do you like Corrupt's haircut? All those things, let us know in the comments, and I will respond to each and every one of those. Thank you so much for watching episode 18 of Columbus DJ Podcast with Legend and J Money. We are out. Peace.